Welcome, history enthusiasts, to a journey back in time. Join us as we delve into the tumultuous era of the American Revolution. It was a time of great upheaval, where ordinary men and women found extraordinary courage to fight for their beliefs. Our story takes place in a world on the brink of change, a world where the seeds of revolution were sown. The year is 1775. Imagine a world without the United States as we know it. 13 colonies cling to the eastern edge of a vast continent, ruled from afar by the mighty British Empire. Life in the colonies was simple, but tensions simmered beneath the surface.
The colonists, proud and independent, chafed under British rule. They yearned for freedom, for the right to govern themselves.
The British government, burdened by debt from years of war, saw the colonies as a source of revenue. They imposed taxes on everything from tea to stamps, without the consent of the colonists. This angered the colonists, who believed in the principle of no taxation without representation. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation. In Boston Harbor, a ship laden with tea became a powerful symbol of defiance against British rule. The harbor, usually a bustling center of trade, now stood as a battleground for colonial rights and freedoms. The British East India Company, granted a monopoly on tea sales by the Crown, sought to impose its will on the colonies. This monopoly was not just about tea, it represented the broader issue of British control over colonial trade and economic freedom. The imposition of the Tea Act was seen as the latest in a series of overreaches by the British government, which had been steadily increasing its grip on the colonies. The colonists, already burdened by taxes and regulations, saw this as the final straw.
The colonists, seeing this as an infringement on their liberties, refused to back down. They organized meetings, wrote pamphlets, and held protests, all in an effort to resist what they saw as unjust laws. On a cold December night, a group of patriots disguised as Native Americans boarded the ships. This act of disguise was not just for anonymity, it was a statement, a way to show their unity and determination. They dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor, a dramatic act of protest that would be remembered for generations. The tea, worth thousands of pounds, was a significant economic loss for the British.
This act of rebellion, known as the Boston Tea Party, sent shockwaves across the Atlantic. News of the event spread quickly, igniting a fire of resistance in other colonies. It was a clear message to King George III and his government that the colonists would not be easily subdued. They were willing to take drastic measures to defend their rights and freedoms. The colonists' defiance was a bold statement of their determination to fight for their independence. This act of rebellion was a turning point, signaling the beginning of a larger struggle for freedom. The British, outraged by this act of defiance, prepared to crack down on the rebellious colonists. They implemented harsh measures, hoping to quell the growing unrest, but instead, they only fueled the fire of revolution. A sense of unity and purpose began to emerge, uniting the disparate colonies against a common enemy. However, the British had misjudged the resolve of the colonists. Instead of crushing their spirit, the intolerable acts only fueled the flames of rebellion. The other colonies rallied to the side of Massachusetts, sending supplies and pledging their support. The British response to the Boston Tea Party was swift and severe. They closed the port of Boston, crippling the city's economy. They imposed military rule on Massachusetts, stripping the colonists of their right to self-government. These acts, known as the Intolerable Acts, were designed to punish the colonists and quell any further thoughts of rebellion. Section 5. Shots heard around the world, Lexington and Concord. This pivotal moment in American history marked the beginning of a long and arduous struggle for independence. The events that unfolded in these small towns would resonate throughout the world, symbolizing the fight for freedom and self-determination.
The tension that had been building for years finally erupted in the spring of 1775. British troops marched towards Concord, Massachusetts, intent on seizing colonial military supplies. However, the colonists were ready. Warned by riders like Paul Revere, they gathered to confront the British. The midnight ride of Paul Revere and others was crucial in alerting the colonial militias. These brave men rode through the night, risking their lives to ensure that the colonists were prepared for the impending conflict.
At Lexington Green, shots were fired, and the American Revolution began. Although outnumbered and outgunned, the colonial militiamen fought bravely, forcing the British to retreat. The first shots at Lexington Green are often referred to as the shot heard round the world, signifying the global impact of this local skirmish. The courage displayed by the colonial fighters inspired many to join the cause for independence. The battle continued on the road to Concord, where the colonists inflicted heavy casualties on the British. The British, bloodied and demoralized, were forced to withdraw to Boston. The determination and resilience of the colonial forces were evident as they pursued the retreating British troops, showcasing their resolve to defend their rights and liberties.
The news of the battles at Lexington and Concord spread like wildfire, igniting the spirit of rebellion throughout the colonies. The events of that day galvanized the colonists, uniting them in their quest for independence. The bravery and sacrifice of those who fought at Lexington and Concord became a rallying cry for the burgeoning revolution, inspiring countless others to take up arms in the fight for freedom.
Section 6. A Declaration of Defiance.
In the wake of Lexington and Concord, representatives from the colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the Second Continental Congress. This gathering of remarkable individuals included men like John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. They were tasked with the daunting responsibility of charting the course of a nation on the brink of war.
After much debate and deliberation, the Congress made the momentous decision to declare independence from Great Britain. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence, penned by the eloquent Thomas Jefferson, was adopted.
This document, a powerful testament to the ideals of liberty and equality, proclaimed to the world that the 13 colonies were now free and independent states.
Section 7. The Continental Army, Forging a Fighting Force.
With the Declaration of Independence, the colonies transformed into a fledgling nation at war. The Continental Army, led by the brilliant but untested George Washington, faced the daunting task of taking on the might of the British Empire. The odds were stacked against them.
The British boasted a professional army, well-equipped and experienced, while the Continental Army was a ragtag collection of farmers, shopkeepers, and artisans, lacking training and resources.
Despite these challenges, the Continental Army was bound by a shared cause, the fight for freedom. They endured harsh conditions, meager rations, and constant danger, their spirits bolstered by the belief that they were fighting for a just cause.
The winter of 1777 to 1778 was a dark time for the Continental Army. Encamped at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, Washington's troops faced unimaginable hardships. The winter was brutally cold, food and clothing were scarce, and disease ran rampant through the camp. Many soldiers succumbed to the elements, their bodies broken by hunger and exposure.
Yet, from the depths of despair, a spirit of resilience emerged. Inspired by Washington's leadership and the sacrifices of their comrades, the soldiers at Valley Forge refused to give up hope. They endured the winter's trials, emerging stronger and more determined than ever before.
The tide of the war began to turn in 1777 with the American victory at Saratoga, New York. This stunning victory, a testament to the strategic brilliance of American generals and the courage of their soldiers, proved to be a pivotal moment in the Revolution. The British, overconfident and overextended, suffered a crushing defeat, shaking their confidence and altering the course of the war. The victory at Saratoga had far-reaching consequences. It proved to the world that the American colonies were a force to be reckoned with. More importantly, it convinced France, eager to see Britain weakened, to formally ally with the United States. French military and financial assistance would prove crucial in the long and arduous struggle for independence. The final chapter of the American Revolution unfolded at Yorktown, Virginia in 1781. The British Army, led by General Cornwallis, found themselves trapped, surrounded by American and French forces both on land and at sea. The siege of Yorktown was a testament to the growing strength and coordination of the Allied forces.
After weeks of bombardment and relentless pressure, Cornwallis surrendered. The news of the British defeat at Yorktown sent shockwaves through the British Empire. It effectively marked the end of major fighting in the American Revolution. The British, their hopes of crushing the rebellion dashed, were finally forced to acknowledge the reality of American independence.
The American Revolution was more than just a war for independence. It was a struggle for the very soul of a nation, a fight for liberty, equality, and self-government. This monumental conflict was not merely about breaking free from the shackles of colonial rule, but about establishing a new paradigm where the ideals of freedom and justice could flourish. The principles enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, endowed with certain unalienable rights, continue to inspire people around the world today. These words, penned by the Founding Fathers, have transcended time and geography, becoming a beacon of hope and a call to action for those who seek justice and equality. The Declaration's powerful message has ignited movements for civil rights, women's suffrage, and countless other struggles for human dignity. The legacy of the American Revolution is all around us. It is in the freedoms we cherish, the democratic ideals we hold dear, and the pursuit of a more perfect union. Every time we vote, speak freely, or assemble peacefully, we are living out the revolution's enduring promise. The revolution's impact is evident in our institutions, our laws, and our national character, continually shaping the American experience. The courage, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in the power of ideas that define the American Revolution continue to resonate today, reminding us that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they stand united in the face of tyranny. The stories of those who fought and sacrificed during the Revolution serve as a testament to the enduring power of collective action and the human spirit's resilience. Their legacy challenges us to remain vigilant and committed to the principles of liberty and justice. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the American Revolution. We invite you to explore more of our content and delve deeper into the annals of history. By understanding the past, we can better appreciate the present and work towards a future that honors the sacrifices and achievements of those who came before us. Let us continue to learn, reflect, and strive to uphold the values that have shaped our nation.